All right, we're here with my buddy Edward Medina.
Hi.
And Tommy. And
Hello.
what we want to ask today is Edward's been hanging out with us since the fall of 2018. It's been about 6 years. 18, 19, 20,
23.
Yeah, 6 years.
Almost 7.
And I wanted to hear from Edward. He got a good story. The highs, the lows, and the highs again. And I will start with this little story. And I'll let Edward share whatever he wants to share.
Mm-hmm.
But, Edward joined our group in 2017 of fall. And he came with a bunch of kids, Tommy, Simon, V, and probably the best generation of kids that I ever had in 18 years of youth ministry. He's the best. That was the best group. And I remember we went to a retreat. He was hooked. He had a great time. And then I tried to find a way to connect with him. And the one thing I remember talking with Edward was I said, we were talking about the Bible. I was trying to help him draw connections between the Bible and real life. And we talked about Spider-Man. So I'll leave it at that. One thing I would say with Edward that we have in common is we both like superheroes. So
We like movies.
with that being said, let's start with superheroes and maybe what that meant for you as a kid, and then jump into 2017. But I know you really like Peter Parker. Go ahead.
Yeah, Spider-Man has always been my favorite superhero. If I had photos to show you, when I was younger, I'd have a poster on my wall. My bed sheets would be Spider-Man. Halloween costumes would be Spider-Man. I have my first few drawings were Spider-Man. The first...
There's web in your eyes.
My first drawings that I was proud of when I was really young were Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. I remember drawing those and showing them to my mom.
This is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, showing them to my mom. It's like, look what I did, Mom. So cool.
So one of the things, I always try to find a way to connect with the kids. And for Edward, it was always easy because we could always talk about the Bible through the metaphor or the lens of superheroes.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you, Edward?
I wasn't sure how you could find the Bible in just everyday things that I like. And to my surprise, Garrett also liked superheroes and a lot of the same films that I liked. Another example is Dark Knight, The Dark Knight. But before I started coming to this church, I just like superheroes because they're awesome, and I just wanted, in my heart, I always wanted to be someone that helped others, that saved people from things.
So let me take a little guess. I didn't ask Edward this before, but you like Peter Parker because you felt like you were a loser in some ways.
No?
No?
Actually, no.
Okay, my bad.
No, but you know what's funny?
Let me phrase it. You like Peter Parker because you struggled. You feel like you could relate to him.
No, not at
No?
the time. No.
You're a winner.
I started feeling that after.
Oh, my bad. All right, sorry, guys. I made it sound like a when we met in 2017, so you felt like you were a good place. You were... So 2017, Edward was a freshman in college. Am I correct?
Yeah, first semester of college.
And where were you? Where were you at that point in life?
I was coming straight out of high school with this attitude that I don't care about too much and I just go with the flow with everything. And after high school, I started to gain more independence, or I was more autonomous, started doing things for my own. And I think that's when it started to change. That life is tough, and I don't know if I'm strong enough for just normal things like going to college and relationships and being the family man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, you have any thoughts? I know you and Edward kind of came into our church together. Is that where you were?
I came right after Edward, actually. After hearing about how much fun you guys had at the retreat.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm interrupting Tommy. Can you tell me again how you didn't believe me I was a Christian? You're like, were you sure you're a Christian? I don't really know.
I think it was the the impression he gave the first time I met him. He was being really personal. Yeah.
No, well, Tommy was at a retreat with his college group, and I was at a retreat with this new church that I just found with like fun people.
Yeah, fun. And Tommy wasn't at a fun place, right?
No, I was not. I was at Chevy Chase, Maryland. On a tree.
Did you have to pay for that?
Yeah, I did.
How much did you pay?
100 something.
Pay $100?
I don't know. Maybe
Mine just free.
Could have been 100.
You paid a lot of money to go to a retreat like 10 minutes from your house?
Okay, it wasn't 10 minutes. I live on Georgia
It
Avenue.
was 10 minutes from my house, my house at the time.
and this retreat, let me see if I can remember. So let me pretend I'm Tommy. I go to a retreat. I'm like really expecting this. Like, first of all, I'm really sad that I couldn't join a frat because I'm Vietnamese and I wanted to be really cool. But you know what? I'm going to settle for the whole God thing. So I go to retreat. I'm expecting this to be a fun environment. My first retreat, and I go to sit down at a table, expecting people to come up to me. And I sit down and I realize no one's sitting with me.
No,
Is that true?
Actually, it happened the second retreat.
Sorry, second
It
retreat.
was the second retreat.
Oh, my bad. So first retreat was okay.
First retreat, I sat with people, but we didn't really have a good connection.
Yeah, keep going.
So did I call you, or did you call me?
No, you called me.
I called you.
I think you
to brag,
shoot.
or to ask you how you were doing, and then I started bragging.
Yeah. Yes, you did. You put. You just.
I knew Tommy wasn't happy. I could tell he was a loser. You know why? Because when we messaged Tommy, he responded immediately
No.
on a text, and we were just pranking. Did you know I was just pranking? Did you know I was pranking you? Did you know I was telling Tommy to message you to see how bad of a time you had, and the worst time the more sad you were, the more happy I became because it means that our group was better than yours.
Yep. I realized.
Did you know that?
Yeah. I knew you were joking.
Yeah. We were having a
But
good
I
time,
wanted to
though.
be there though.
All right. So first impressions, Edward, of our group. We met 2017 fall. What was your first thoughts hanging out with us? When I say us, the church group at the time. Chen Ying, Alex, Zessen, Justin, whatever.
Well, I remember before I felt really connected to the group, Cool Church Kids in Sunday school. I hang out with kind of you and me. I'd help you with stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you guys, that's a big thing. You guys would pay me.
No, so that was from the very get-go. We paid you.
Yeah, you guys would pay me through PayPal and stuff. I mean, we like cash.
Oh, I paid you cash.
And that was kind of, I felt like my first. It wasn't even my first job, like a real job, but the first time I was getting like a lot of money, like every few weeks, because I was helping you guys with stuff.
This is the fall of 2017.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And that helped a lot because I felt like whatever you guys were doing, that I wanted to be a part of.
All right, I have a good memory. I'm going to rewind. I asked Edward to help me clean out the big room downstairs in the basement. I asked you to help me move cabinets. I was paying you $15 an hour. You made I gave you way too much money. But anyways, if you want to do ministry and you're listening to this, the best way to get people to come to your church is give them money. So that's what I did with Edward.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you to help me move, and you kept saying, I don't know what, Garrett, something's wrong with my hands.
It's not working.
Something's wrong. I thought his hands were, I thought there was too much sweat because he couldn't help me pick up these cabinets. Why don't you tell me what was going on there, Edward?
I think the muscles were just giving out on my fingers, and the cabinets were slipping, and I was telling you my hands stopped working. They're not working.
Yeah, I never knew your hands could get that tired from moving cabinets.
Well, it was up the steps. I remember that too.
Well, that was my first
And we did
experience.
not work out.
Yeah, I know. So that day you helped me move out all the cabinets. We donated them to Unique Thrift Store, if you remember.
Yeah.
And then I took you to Kenny's Sub Shop, and we spent $35 on Chinese fast food.
Yes.
And I overpaid.
Do you remember the kind of stuff that we talked about when we would just hang out like that?
Oh yeah, we talked about girls.
Did we?
Yeah, remember I talked about this girl you used to have a crush on named Brenda? See, nice try.
That's what we talked about?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
And we talked about relationships, and
Yeah.
we try to connect that to the Bible. See, do you not remember now? You had
Sort
a
of.
crush on Brenda, who was a sister of Maggie, and I took Maggie out.
Yeah, that's what we
Or
talked.
was that the girl you had a crush on?
No.
Or was that Triple?
No, he liked Judy.
Oh, Judy. I also took her out too.
Yeah, I guess I like Judy.
Yeah, all right, cool. So first year, You hung out with me. We paid you. You're happy.
I started to feel connected.
Okay. You felt You felt like a whole new world was open to you. Is that am I correct? Like
It was opening up. So
hearing adult conversations.
hearing adult conversations,
Making money.
hanging out with someone who's more mature,
Exercise.
I
know we talked about this before. I'll let you all rehash it for me. Edward and Tommy, alpha males of AA Lead. When I say alpha males, like, you're the only guys that had girlfriends, right?
What?
No,
In AA Lead. Anybody else had a girlfriend?
I don't think that's what.
Who else had girlfriends?
That's not how we
I
define
don't,
it.
that's not.
That's alpha.
No.
No one's dating an AA Lead. Except Calvin. Trying. Go ahead. What were we
We
talking
would
about?
have our own group outside of AA Lead.
Oh, it's the cool kids.
I wouldn't call it that, but
I mean, cooler.
we'd have our own subgroup, and we'd be closer outside of that, and then we'd come to AA Lead together, and
Alright, sorry.
yeah, you could say it's like our own.
Alright, my point is, you guys were alphas of AA.
we were from Wilson.
You're the cool guy.
We dumb, yeah.
Okay.
We talk funny.
Alright.
Sure.
So when you came to our group, what were some of the things that kind of struck you as different or interesting? So you're coming from, in my opinion,
It was different.
inner city, AA Lead, also poor academic background,
Yeah.
also not a strong family life in either of you guys, I would say, right?
It's
So
a strong family.
like there's not a lot of you weren't really given that much guidance from your parents in terms of how to grow
Yes,
up. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah.
not a strong parental
Yeah.
influence. So what were some of the things that were eye-opening to you when you joined our group? And I'll let Edward share, and then maybe Tom, you can chime in if you want to. But go ahead, Edward.
How the generosity in the adults.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I still can't forget is the first semester. It was after the first semester of college.
Mm-hmm.
You offered to pay for my school. Yes. I'll never forget that.
Wow.
I was telling you that I couldn't afford like the next semester. I was like, oh no, I need a job. I need some money. And that's another reason why you probably asked me to work for you.
Absolutely.
And then you told me at church, like near the kitchen, like, hey man, if you need money, I got you.
And you know what the crazy thing was?
And I was like, I said no because I felt bad and I didn't, I just met you. But that was crazy. I was like, this is what church is like.
Okay, let me give you some background. I just sold something on eBay for $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately you told me. So I said, God, is this why you gave me $5,000? I don't know, but if you want me to, I
but
will.
at the same, it was crazy because I didn't just meet you. It took a few months, but that was pretty special to me. I didn't know people would think that way. And,
Well, I'm not a normal person.
And but I wasn't exactly a good kid. Why would you want to pay for my school?
I also said you had to pay me back.
Okay, I don't remember that.
I said when you
Actually, yeah. I think you did say that.
You know,
Still.
here's a caveat. Did you know that was spring 2018?
Yeah.
I was seriously financially strapped because of the DC house. Like I was in like I'm gonna tell you $850,000 debt because I just had to buy the house. So that means something. When I offered you $5,000,
Yeah.
it wasn't because I was rich. I just
Well, you
tried-
didn't give me a specific number, but he's like your first semester.
Yeah.
So
By the way,
it's just about
if you're
that.
listening, Edward's going to community college. It's not like Chen Yun going to University of Maryland or
Yeah,
it was a little cheaper, right?
I was in community college at
Yeah.
the time.
So generosity was something
Yeah.
that stuck out. Anything else? How about toughness or I don't know. Or
yeah,
ministry?
I wasn't working out was completely new to me.
Yeah.
Regularly.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know how the ceiling, like how tough you can get. I didn't know there was levels to this thing.
Edward, we can go a few floors higher if you want to. We can keep going up. All right, anything else? So
But that was like self-care.
Uh-huh.
The friend group.
Okay.
Some people were I knew from AA Lead, so that kind of helped with the familiarity.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Familiarity, Edward likes Chinese people. We're Chinese.
I do feel more comfortable. No,
You would feel
no.
better at a Chinese church
No,
than
I
you would
grew up with-
at a
I grew up-
iglesia.
I grew up with Asian friends.
Yeah,
but
you are.
I'm not racist.
No one said you're racist. You just like Chinese people.
Yeah.
Not even Chinese. I had Vietnamese friends when I was younger.
No. Tommy likes Chinese people.
Sure, yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I don't.
What?
I'm not sure what's happening to Tommy's hair. All right, Tommy, anything real quick. What are your thoughts when you came to our group? Initial impressions, other than me being a little cultish, I guess.
Was it like another AA lead?
Yeah, that's a good
We
question.
found another AA lead. After we left AA lead, it's like, okay.
You found the alpha.
Over time, I started to like our group more than my current fellowship that I was attending in college.
Hold on. Say that one more time. What was the name? What was the name of fellowship?
Yeah, it's called.
Oh, we might have to re-record.
Oh, we might.
I'm kidding.
Sorry. What was the name of the fellowship?
You actually want me to say it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's called Make New. But they changed it. I don't know what it.
Sorry, what was the name again?
I don't know what it's called.
Make New.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I apologize. You said your mentor?
No, I said the fellowship. I didn't say mentor.
What was the mentor's name?
What does it have to do with anything?
Transparency, man. Authenticity.
His first name is David. But that's all that.
All right, cool. So yeah, what did you think about our group initially compared to
Well,
other things you were involved in?
for one thing, you guys like to joke and you guys
That's
have
true.
a good sense of humor.
Oh, yeah, everybody was serious over there.
Over
at
there.
That place.
I felt like I couldn't.
What was the name of the guy who mentored you?
What is this so important? Why is this? It's about my experience. Why did we?
No, but I'm just trying to figure out. Is it Ming or is it the other guy?
No, Ming was a speaker, but I was more closer.
You like Ming because he's Chinese, right?
He's Cantonese.
But you don't like David.
No,
'cause he's
wait,
Vietnamese.
I'm not saying that.
We have a meeting at our church.
But what race was David?
He's Vietnamese.
Okay, but you didn't like him that much compared to Ming.
I don't know why you're asking these. He tried his best to be my friend.
Did it work?
I mean, we out of touch now, but like.
No, sorry, I apologize. Okay,
let's get
so
on track.
good. Yeah. Sorry, David.
What are you asking?
I said, what's the name of
What did you notice about our group?
Yeah.
The group that I told you about on the phone.
Well, I think I could. Well, another thing is like I felt like I fit right in, because I was like I grew up in the city. I could relate to
I feel like I fit in too.
Yeah, I could relate to.
I got it. This will summarize what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I said, you guys want to go out to eat? You want to eat at my favorite restaurant? And I took you all to 7-Eleven. You're like, oh, snap! Garrett eats at 7-Eleven too. Tell me what that meant to you.
Dude, 7-Eleven was my childhood. I was born and raised, kind of like Bane, right?
So did that make you feel like there was did that make you feel like there was a connection?
It was a deep connection for me.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
a convenience store, right?
Yeah. So you feel like you fit in because we're low class, like you.
Yes.
You're low class.
Yes, because back.
At first, I didn't actually. At the beginning, I didn't know you liked 7-Eleven that much. I was like, you're just being nice to us, or you're just trying not to spend too much money with us. But either way, it's still a good time.
Do you know that I saw Dennis's mom today, and I told her that when I get older, if I get rich, I'm going to own a 7-Eleven. I'm going to make Tommy work there for me. So it's not a facade.
Yeah.
I do like 7-Eleven.
So it was cool to find out you actually liked it.
So you came to our group, Edward, and I'm just going to rehash some.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to chime in on it, but I do remember there were a couple of things you said.
Something I really liked was that we would do stuff.
Do stuff, okay?
How do we hang out as in high school? Around at the park, someone's house.
You talking about Monopoly at the park?
If it's just us, we're always playing video games.
Yeah, video games, eating carry out.
Yep.
It's around DC. No cars. We don't know. We haven't explored outside of Maryland, right?
Outside of DC?
Outside of DC, right?
We didn't.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things is something to look forward to.
I always created fun activities, adventures.
I felt like I was exploring the world with you.
Okay.
And that was awesome. With other people that I thought were cool. Because I thought Justin was cool at the time.
He is cool. If you're listening.
Oh, yeah, he is cool. He's still cool. He's still cool.
All right, I want to give you. Tell me the first moment. No, it's not the first time. We went hiking, and Chunying was there, and I was very close to Chunying. And
Before church, right? Picnic from V's house.
No, not that one time.
Not that
so
time.
So we went hiking in Great Falls, and Chunying and I had a great relationship, and she trusted me. And we went hiking in Great Falls, wintertime, and I asked you guys to walk on the frozen river, and you guys were, and Chunying was like,
That's around that time.
brave.
Okay.
Do you guys remember that? What do you remember thinking when I took you all to the Great Falls and walked on ice?
That's when Tommy bled, right?
And Tommy was bleeding.
Tommy
Yeah.
bled.
Well, yeah. Tom, what's your thoughts? I feel like that was a big moment
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
To be hiking
I
in
had,
the
I had a
snow.
different experience. I complained the whole time. I just talked about my hand, and Garrett's like, "What do you want me to do about it?"
Bleeding?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Did you see my leg was bleeding the other day?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
really care
yeah.
about that, right?
No.
That's good. It's good. All right, so Edward, what do you remember? Like that's an example, right? Like we went
That's
we
an
went
example
hiking.
of something new that
Mhm.
I wouldn't imagine myself doing.
Mhm.
And again, I didn't explore really much outside of DC. So
Uh-huh.
I'm just used to the city. So being outside in the nature, walking on ice, snow everywhere.
Were you guys scared?
It's like Narnia.
Were you guys scared?
Yeah, I was scared because I felt like you were just telling me to do stuff that,
Did you think I was crazy?
yeah, that you just want to see for entertainment.
I was.
Like, what if I fall? Are you gonna laugh?
I would. but I want to say you noticed that I always went out first myself, correct?
Yeah.
Before I asked you guys to come.
Yeah.
And number 2, I asked Chanyin to come after me. And then when you saw her, you're like, oh crap, if Chunying's going, then I have to be brave enough to go and walk on the ice too, right?
In the back of my head, I'm like, Garrett knows I'm gonna fall. I'm gonna fall. The ice is gonna crack. He knows it. He just wants me to do it.
That's possible if your name was Justin.
Yeah. I'm scared.
So you felt like I made
But
you
it's a
guys
memory.
take you on a lot of ventures and sometimes it required you to be brave.
Yes.
All right.
Adrenaline.
Now, some of the other things I know you talked about in the past, like I try to get you to read.
Mm-hmm. You would give me books. Do you
and-
remember the first book you gave me ever?
Screw tape letters?
Was it?
Was it? I don't remember.
think so.
No.
No.
Machine Gun Preacher.
Oh yeah.
Was it Machine Gun
And
Preacher?
Yeah, and I watched the movie too.
Okay. So
Yeah.
tell me, so Edward started coming to church, and I wanted to hear a little bit more about the spiritual component. What was some of the things that really hit home for you, and how did that change you? So maybe the reading, the Sunday school, our conversations, you can pull from any of those themes.
We had a lot of good conversations, and maybe that's why I said that I trusted you, that we would be friends forever.
Oh, sorry. Let me.
We had good conversations.
So-
That interested me a lot.
So one of the things I found really weird about Edward was that very early on in our friendship, when I would say I didn't even know him yet, he shared some things that were really personal, and I go, "Why are you sharing with me?" And Edward, what did you say? This is for the audience, if you're listening. Yep.
I said, I'm sharing with you because I feel like we're gonna be friends for a long time.
Okay.
Maybe I said that you're a good person too.
Yeah.
I thought that you were a good person.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, sure. And I guess maybe that was based on you feeling like there was a connection because we had good conversations.
There was a connection because we had good conversations, and I don't think I had a friend before that was your age.
Of course.
And that was.
You know, it is unusual. Let me ask you, Tom Edward. When you were 20 and I was, 33, maybe? How old are you now?
23.
I'm 15 years older. So, 20, I'm 35. God, no, you were younger than that. Sorry, 18 and 20, 32.
Yeah.
33. Did you view me as like a huge age gap? Because I think that is kind of unusual. When I was 18, I looked at someone 30, like,
I don't
oh
think
my
I thought
God,
about
she
your
was
age.
old. He's adult. Did you guys feel that way about me? Or you thought I was like, how old did you feel like I
don't
was?
really think I thought about your age.
But you knew I was older.
I knew you were older.
Yeah.
You felt like a 28, maybe.
Yeah, late 20s.
Is it because I was like,
Even though I knew your age, I just
you
looked at
thought
you
I was
like,
on weed, right?
I just
No.
no.
I was like,
I look at you as someone who's 28, but you know, why would you care and be interested in kids and younger people? You must be a good person.
I
That's
thought you
my
were about to say pervert. All right, cool.
youth ministry.
You-
A good
cool.
heart. Not knowing anything about ministry, not knowing much about
Yeah,
Christianity.
okay.
Ministry makes you a good person.
Hopefully. So what were some of the things spiritually that kind of got you going early on? I know I gave you books like Screw Tape and Mere Christianity, and yeah, what were some things that stood out?
Oh, the books that you gave me, Machine Gun Preacher, I remember.
Everett could be Machine Gun Preacher, by the way, but with the conceal and carry.
You also gave me Don't Waste Your Life.
I gave you Don't Waste Your Life. Okay.
Yeah, one of the first books.
Okay.
I felt like they all had stuff that I would agree with, like what makes a person good,
Mm-hmm.
and how can you improve, which is what I like. if I'm always someone who's looking to improve, I want to be better. So these books, I felt like they're speaking to me.
Okay.
How are these books speaking to me? How did Garrett know to give me these books, and why do I agree with it so much? Something about this must be true, and
Let me stick with the theme
Yeah.
of superheroes. Do you feel that in some ways maybe you were like Peter Parker, and then when you got these books, you started feeling like there was a power that you were obtaining, that you longed for, and that may be through the form of wisdom.
yeah, wisdom.
Is that what you're saying?
Through wisdom.
Like you wanted something more.
Yeah, something that I was looking for.
Uh-huh.
Let's go back to where, kind of before I came to church. That gap in between leaving high school and finding you guys, it's a small gap, like 6 months, a semester.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like life kind of reset a bit, you know, because people go their own ways after they go to different schools. I don't really see a lot of friends anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on my own, like, kind of
Yes.
on a search to find meaning, to find new friends that knew good people, and college wasn't cutting it out. I needed something different. I needed something special.
Okay, that makes sense. Hey, when we all go to college, not all, but a lot of us are faced with a little bit of a void, and we don't know how to quite fill it, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't know how to fill it, but I felt like this church found me.
Okay. So we hung out for the first year. We worked out. You know, I paid you. I made you go on jobs with me. I'm not sure if that first year was when we went to Ohio and you stayed up all night. This second year, I don't remember. But
That's another example of something fun.
Wasn't-
me exploring the world. I thought it was fun, even though
I wasn't having fun.
You were scared.
All right, so
stayed up late.
I used to drive all night, like for multiple days and not sleep, to go pick up computers to send them to Kenya. And sometimes I ask people like Edward to go with me to help me like load up the car and keep me company. So yeah, well, anything you remember from that story? There was a snowstorm, 80-mile-per-hour winds. I was going over West Virginia. I was a little nervous. What do you remember from that trip? That wasn't quite the most fun for me.
It's a blizzard. You
remember this?
Yeah, you listened to Joe Rogan. I think you showed me Joe Rogan for the first time.
Okay, yeah.
You'd go out to use the bathroom and it'd be crazy because like I think the wind. I was thinking like, oh no, the pee's gonna splash in your face because it's so windy.
Yeah.
the car is shaking.
Yeah.
You were scared, but I guess
scared.
you sound calm enough to convince me like, oh, we're gonna be all right.
No, I was not. Sorry. So.
And then when we had to get out and put like rocks in the trailer,
Yes.
I'm like, oh, cool, this is fun. It's like a movie.
Yeah,
we're in a movie.
we're driving around with an empty trailer tow, and that catches a lot of wind. And I was scared that it would flip over because I was in the mountains of West Virginia during a snowstorm with 80-mile-per-hour winds, or up to 80-mile-per-hour winds. And so I had the brilliant idea of trying to put boulders, as heavy rocks as I could, in the back of it, and that stopped the trailer tow from shaking.
Yeah.
Thank God I was a little smart, but I'm glad you enjoyed my stress.
But you know, I remember I was excited because I like Garrett. I have good conversations with Garrett. I always learn something when I hang out with him, so I get to hang out with him for a whole like night. That's pretty cool. And I'm going to a place I've never been to before, so.
Edward, you didn't hang out with me a whole night. So before the trip, Edward says, I never sleep. I struggle with that. I say, perfect. I'm like, Edward, you're still there by 3:30. Fell asleep, man. Nice try, man. You were gone by 3:30 a.m. I had to drive all day and back home again.
Yeah, so I was excited. It's fun times.
Yeah, almost cried. Anyways, safe to say, your first year with me was a very rewarding year. You did a lot of things. You went to the gym.
My life became more interesting.
Yeah, you went to the gym. Tommy, we'll go over it real quick, but yeah, Tommy vomited, and then Edward vomited the second time when we went to the gym. Tommy vomited from the leg machine. Edward vomited from shoulder raises. Shoulder or bicep. I think
it was shoulders.
So what happened was we started doing legs, and Edward goes, dude, I'm starting to feel funny. I'm like, all right, let's switch the arms. And then we did bicep curls, I think, and that made him vomit in my bathtub. So we did a lot of fun things. Went to the gym. We went to work. We learned about the Bible. We go hiking, and it was a good year. Now,
it's good. And another thing that made it better is I got to bring my close group from A.E.A.T. Like they became
some of them,
part of it too. Some of them.
It was fun.
And then it just felt like home.
Okay.
The new home.
And I was happy, because as someone who does youth ministry, you do want to create a place where kids are happy. So, mission accomplished for me. Now,
Second year?
this is so the first year is good. That summer, I know we've talked about this before, but
Second year.
I
want to quit school.
this is when there was a little bit of a butting of heads between Edward and I, one of many. And so I think even though you're enjoying the spiritual aspect, there were two things that were kind of causing friction. One was maybe academics, not doing well as you hoped, and
I didn't want to be there. It wasn't my thing. Yeah.
And because we're Chinese, at least Chinese people always like, come on, man, pick it up, pick up the slack. You gotta do better in school. And then the second thing was romance. So let me give just a rehash, unfortunately for the 20th time. Edward had a crush and had a little romance, which is normal, with one of the girls in our group. Love you, Chunying. And and I was very protective. And I get it. But I also wanted y'all to grow, and because I have a lot of experience, I know that relationships at an early age can really derail someone's academic, spiritual development. And for you, on top of that, financial, development.
Yeah.
And I know we butted heads, and we had a deep conversation about that. Uncomfortable. How did you feel about me during these tough conversations? This is this was July, middle of July, and we've been hanging out for almost one school year. So yeah, go tell me how'd you handle that at the time?
Well, first I felt like things kind of turned a bit because we're having a good time, and this is the first time I guess I pissed you off. I'm like, oh man.
Was it like a character in a movie? It's
a shift. Yeah, it's like.
Harvey Dent became Two-Face. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
A new chapter, new arc here, starting.
I know you were Batman, then you became Dark Knight.
Sure.
He became the villain, that she needs.
Sure.
Go ahead. Yes. Go. I'm joking around, but go ahead.
A big thing is I didn't understand. At the time, you said you wanted me to grow. I did not understand what you were referring to, or what to imagine. Because I wasn't as spiritual. You could say that. So, how did I take it? Yeah, Garrett, I can grow and do whatever it is I please. If I just work really hard at it, I can grow no matter what.
I see. So let's just do a Spider-Man analogy.
Okay.
I was like Uncle Ben. I'm trying to give you a warning. With great power comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And you're Spider-Man, like, yeah, whatever, old man. Whatever, Grandpa. It's Uncle Ben, but is that a little bit of what, like, yeah, I appreciate it, but I got my own life. You're a little out of date for me. Is that what's part of it?
Yeah. You're older. You're not.
You don't know how I feel.
You're not in my friend group.
Yeah.
How much do you know? Mm-hmm. What do you know about me and this person?
Okay.
So can you really tell me what I should do?
Okay. So I was overstepping my jurisdiction.
That's how I felt. Yes.
Yeah. Anything else? Being a bully, controlling.
Okay, I'd start to feel like that over time.
Okay.
Because I was.
Yes.
Opposition defiance.
Yes.
I'm not a person who enjoys being told what to do. I felt in the conversations that we had, I guess you came across as upset, and you were upset, but I didn't really like that, so yeah, you were controlling.
All right. So what happened after that? Do you say, Garrett, you know what I'm going to listen to, or after?
My mentality is, I can make everybody happy.
Okay.
I can play both sides, but it won't involve honesty.
Okay, that's definitely fair. I don't deny that. I think that's a very reasonable solution.
And then it'll be okay because I'll just do me.
I know.
It's always okay. I just do myself.
I want to outsmart him.
I'm gonna outsmart him. I thought I didn't know Gary was that smart.
No, I wasn't. Trust me, I wasn't smart. You tricked me. Congratulations.
I'm a sly person.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not. I can outsmart some people.
You did. So you started dating.
Yeah.
And how was your school at that time?
How was school? No, I started dating without being in school.
Okay.
Remember?
So you quit your school at that time,
Yeah.
and I had a conversation with you. I said, "You sure you want to quit?" He goes, "Yeah, man."
Yeah.
Tell me what was your thought process? Because I'm Chinese to go. Either you gotta go to school or you gotta get some kind of training.
I remember being at your house on the couch, and it was one night, and you and me just talking to me. Mostly you. It's like, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do, smarty?
And what did I say? All I know is that I wasn't sure, regardless of what I said. I wasn't sure in my heart, so I would have probably said anything just to end the conversation and go home.
That sounds very believable.
And make things better until next time.
Avoidance, got it.
Avoidance. I don't remember what I said.
So you weren't going to school.
Yeah.
And you were dating. Tell me anything you want to throw in there. This is kind of like 2018 summer and onward. Any thoughts?
Unfortunately.
Do you remember when I said I didn't want to go to school? Do you remember anything about that time?
Bro, I was just like, all right, that's on you. I was dealing with my own problem, 2-hour commute.
Bro, man, I got my own problems,
sure.
man. I got 99 problems, but is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
But Edward ain't one. I'm not going to concern myself. I got 2-hour commute. Yes. All right, cool. So that's when life. Okay, so I'm trying to paint the picture for the audience. Your first year was good. Second year started getting harder. Financially, lack of academics, shortly after, and then a little bit of relationship stress.
Yeah.
And which is what happens in life, this ups and downs. Tell me, like, give me a picture of
What is
that
life?
the next phase, the next year or so, when you were starting to get stressed from those things coming together, school, romance, and finances, and family life.
Before that, I got my first job, and for a while, I didn't have to worry about what I kind of just had a job to buy whatever I wanted to and to fund my lifestyle, whatever it is at the time. And I wasn't as stressed about money because later on, eventually, I'd have to spend more to date and to help my family. And I would have to doing those two things, of course, but the pressure to be perfect started to kill me. Along with me.
When you say perfect, am I interpreting that as pleasing everyone? Because I wouldn't say you're perfect, but trying to make sure everyone's happy.
Not perfect, but just do everything right.
Yeah, okay.
What I'm doing currently, do everything right. And, I'd pick up more things, working out more. Jeez. I was stressed, and I also did not deal with it in the best ways.
Was I supportive to you in that situation, or did you close yourself off to everything?
I was always closed off, actually, at that time.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. So I didn't give myself... I didn't allow myself to have the support system that would have helped a lot.
Okay.
Because I thought I could do everything by myself. And that's the person I wanted to be, someone who could do it by himself. So I'd be proud of myself. I wasn't proud of myself unless I did it by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this went on for a little bit, the stress of school. Eventually you gave up working, right? You went from Nando's to Lido's.
Sure.
And you decided to go back to school because you're like, this restaurant life ain't cutting it. It's not what it...
Yeah.
It didn't...
it got
It's not all it
repetitive.
seemed to be, yeah.
It got repetitive,
Mhm.
and I started to see a picture. I did this forever.
You're not gonna be
to get
bright.
to get that Tesla that I
Mhm.
wanted.
So-
to get them chains on my neck.
Well,
And that was so stupid.
no, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Not just that, you also probably realized everyone at work was a loser.
Everyone at work. Oh God, I don't want to call out people, but yeah. I started to feel like
Like,
I
wait a
was a
second.
loser. Like I was.
These guys aren't going anywhere,
Yeah.
and you didn't want to be that.
I did not want to be that. I
Okay.
wanted to. A lot of at church I always felt insecure because people would ask me like about school and my plans, and I didn't really know, but it seemed like everyone at church was doing better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of comparison to the people that I was with at work. I saw the direction I was probably going and the direction I hated, but I realized that I wanted to go in the direction of success.
And you needed, and work in a restaurant was not it.
It was not it.
Okay.
I snapped out of it
Mm-hmm.
because I have to help my family. I have to, save up for things. Date.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough money
Okay.
to do what I want and to help people because I like hanging out too.
Yeah.
I want to be generous with my money too, but I can't do that. I can't do everything I want to.
So safe to say, so you went back to school, am I correct? And you studied psychology, but then you switched over. I don't know exactly when you wanted to be an art teacher. I think this is after we broke up, right? So I'm jumping ahead. We'll go back. We'll go there. That was later. Okay. So
Okay.
you went back to school, but I know that you were getting. Let's see. You went back to school. I guess 2019.
In the fall, I think. Yeah.
Okay, and then walk me through what happened in 2021. So 2021, I felt like you were getting stressed, and I could only guess that it was partially from your relationship, pressure from home, pressure from academics, and financial. And probably on top of the fact that you're trying to work out all the time and be tough. And maybe you weren't getting enough sleep or rest. Am I correct? Or am I missing something?
That's all right. And maybe there's a few
And
things
also
in
working.
there, small things in there. And I wasn't dealing with stress in the right race,
Yeah. So tell them about how you felt at that time, maybe springtime, leading up to what I'm going to talk about after that.
I felt overworked, and I felt like, if you want to give me some tips on how to navigate through all these hats I'm trying to wear, all these things I'm trying to juggle, you'd have to really be me.
Yeah.
You'd have to be me to tell me what I should be doing right or different.
Is that how you felt?
That's how I felt.
Okay.
You're not me.
So no one can give you advice.
No, I don't think anyone could.
Okay.
And yeah, it was really, like I said, since my first job, the pressure just kept building on for years to be perfect.
Tommy, what do you remember Edward during this time? I know we talked about this before, about how he got a little booty.
Don't be, be a little nice.
Be
a little nice. Be a little nice.
Edward's
to me.
Edward's a little sensitive.
I know what you think already.
I mean,
You can just say, don't use the curse, you just say A.
Oh yeah, just don't curse. You can
Just say A word.
it was the A word. I mean, that's because he was dating, and
You tired of being a third wheel.
put me
Side piece.
He put me in the back seat.
Is that? But is that everything? Is that like what? Is that?
No, that's. I just saw. Also, like.
Is that all you saw?
No, I think also the way you just treated your now, like ex.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I couldn't hear you. Say that louder.
Yeah, her. Yeah.
His ex-girlfriend. Go ahead.
Go
He
ahead.
was just treating her
Mhm.
poorly, and I've never seen this side of him before. Like she was just trying to communicate to him one time, and he just totally ignored her while we were getting in the car. He's like he didn't hear a single word. It's like she didn't exist. I was like, dang, he's really stressed about something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't hear the world. I can't hear what it's trying to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And what you were saying? You never seen him this upset before?
Yeah, in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say to that is I was that upset all the time before that. All
For
the
like
time.
a solid three
No,
months, 6 months.
I mean, I'd be upset like that periodically
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have the best mental health. I didn't have the best history with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Even in high school, I'd have episodes
Mm-hmm.
where I'd have to shut down and retreat. But in social situations where I can't go anywhere, I become rude.
Well,
I
I assume it's because you had too many people you're trying to please.
And there's also like a lot of good people trying to help me.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Not used to it.
So, this pressure came to a head when I asked you to fill out your scholarship, and you blew.
I blew.
Yeah. So walk me through that. So the church was creating a scholarship for some of our college students, and I wanted Edward to apply, considering the fact that he came from a situation where finances were really tight. So I said, Edward, you got to apply. And so he was a little stubborn. I didn't know all the facts at the time, but I was like, what's wrong with you, man? Why aren't you applying for this scholarship? Tell me what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I did end up also writing your...
You did a lot for me.
I wrote your recommendation, even though we had gotten in a fight. So walk me through what happened during that time.
Well, you wanted me to take that scholarship, but what you didn't know, what a lot of people didn't know, I didn't tell anyone at that time, was that I didn't want that money because I would feel guilty, because I felt like I didn't deserve it, because I did poorly at school before, and I was making up for my bad GPA secretly. And
When you say bad, what do you mean?
1.0. It's just around that. You know, the specific number, I don't know, but it's around that.
Don't worry, we know a few kids who can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not the only one, but okay. It is bad.
So,
yes.
I mean, I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to be in school. And I wanted support, but I was hiding the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that I didn't have a plan. I was kind of just making up for past mistakes.
And because you were ashamed of this.
I was ashamed.
Mm-hmm. You were not able to see that I was trying to help you. You're more afraid of your embarrassment than understanding.
There was that too. There was also, I was upset that, you know, I have this group that doesn't know anything a lot about that. And it's kind of like a safe space. A place where I can not think about school.
Right.
And then here, this is a point where they kind of intersect.
So I'm ruining your safe space.
You're ruining my safe space.
Because I'm trying to bring in tough conversations. And
Yeah. So my relationship and my friendship in this group, those are my safe places.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And yeah, I wasn't happy.
So you push after that conversation. You did your scholarship application, but you still basically said, "To hell with you, Garrett."
You had to convince me to do it.
So talk to me. How did you feel when you were like, "To hell with y'all"? Were you winning? Were you winning in life? I mean, what was your thought process?
I don't know if I felt like I was winning.
Were you trying to win?
I was trying to win something. I didn't want that fight.
You know, you're like,
you brought it to me. That's how I'm looking at it.
You try to win the fight. You said
like,
to me, Garrett, if I can't
yeah.
hurt you with my words, I'm gonna hurt you with my sounds. Like, that's all. By the way, did you make that up yourself? That's pretty clever.
I did make that up myself.
That's not bad. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a serious cold shoulder right there.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So yeah, what was your thought process at that time? To hell with y'all. I assume that's what you were doing.
You know, it's my safe space. I don't want conflict, and then you brought it to me, and I don't handle that well. I get really upset, and I'm targeting you for starting that.
Do you think it's also because at that point you were also...
But I was also, there was a lot of anger built up, of course, that I just kind of let out on you.
Do you think that also was related to the fact that I was also pushing you before in your relationship?
Yeah, you're pushing me to be better always.
And the stress of having to hide it, maybe, as well as like before you're still upset that from prior conversations. Is that what it was? You're just all coming out, or am I reaching too much?
I built up, I stored everything up inside. And
Okay. So did you get angry just at me or everyone? I know, obviously.
I was angry at you, but I probably expressed the most likely things about other people that I didn't like.
Like,
because just why not? Because F the whole group.
F the whole group, okay. How about Tommy? Was he part of that group?
No.
Tommy, you were solo.
Actually,
by the way, real quick, a side note, when you came to the group without Edward, did that feel weird for a while? We would have Bible study at our group because of COVID. And instead of going to church, we would have it at our house on Sundays. And so, did you feel weird when you would come and everyone wouldn't be there?
Yeah, I felt
like
something
was missing.
Piece of me was missing.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I won't lie. When I'm stressed, I will probably say something about everyone.
That's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what ghetto people do.
I'm ghetto. Yeah. So
makes sense.
I think I remember. I complained about my best friend too, and maybe how he could have.
So, what was harder at the time? These are tough questions. I'm gonna ask you tough questions, Edward.
Go ahead.
And rank them for me, for my own curiosity.
Yeah.
Financial, your relationship with Chen Ying, academics, or maybe and your relationship with me. Which one was causing you, like, how did
Academics was number one for
in
sure.
terms of the causing you the most stress?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about then breaking up with Chen Ying and then also fighting with me, and financial?
You mean to rank those?
Yeah, explain those. Walk me through those different stressors at that time.
Okay, so this is after I blew up on you.
Yeah, that summer, like all those things were kind of in the mix.
Oof.
It was tough. It was a tough time for you.
Well, financially, it's the same as it always was before. I am at the moment. The financial stress is more than it's ever been.
I believe it. It's only going to get worse.
So I don't know if I want to. Financial stress wasn't a major.
Okay, so then it's down to Chen Ying and me.
Yeah, I felt guilty that I felt like I cut you off. I can blow up and I can be angry, but I will calm down and feel guilty afterwards.
So during this time, when you cut off your relationship with me, was Chen Ying and you guys still together, or was she still offering emotional support? I guess what I'm asking.
We were still talking.
But it must have been different.
It was different. I was more so on my own because I was the one that was angry.
So where did you turn to in those times?
Oh, it was tough. I was by myself.
Yeah. Video games, Burger King, weed.
A lot of walks.
A lot of walks.
A lot of walks.
Okay. So it's tough.
It's by myself, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of drives.
So what made you come to your senses a little bit? Was it Tommy? Was it yourself? God? Anything I said? I mean, so Edward was gone, I guess, from May to about late July or somewhere between beginning of August. So you were gone for about 2 months. What made you kind of regather yourself, pick yourself up, and try to? And my next question is: did you feel ashamed to come back to our group? Like, was that very embarrassing for you?
It was funny. You said I came back to your house.
You did.
Before we came back to
Yes, you
church
did.
all together.
Yeah, I know.
I don't really remember that.
I know, because you didn't even make eye contact. I remember you walked in, you sat down here, and you left right after Sunday school.
Well, I don't remember, but looking at it now, thinking about that, like, that's kind of bold.
I know.
So I'm walking into your house, into your Bible study, and I'm not looking at you. I don't care about you.
Yeah. So you don't remember anything?
I don't remember that. I guess I
You
was
remember
still
that?
angry.
He came in playing Clash of Clans on his phone.
Who?
I remember that.
He was playing Clash?
Yes, I remember that.
So he came in and he didn't talk to me. He made eye contact, right?
Down
And then he left.
That's crazy.
You know what that sounds like?
Still angry.
Sounds like Wilson. Something like Wilson, how you probably were as a student.
Kim class.
Don't bother me. I got my phone.
If I came in and fell asleep, that'd be Wilson.
That's his high school. So did you feel shame to come back? How did you think I would respond?
I had this point of view where I can avoid it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Where I can avoid this conversation with Garrett for a long time if I just try hard enough.
Yeah.
But I know Garrett will talk to me eventually.
We talking about.
This is how I'm thinking.
Okay, because
This is how I'm thinking.
according to you, I was messaging you and reaching out and trying to check up on you.
Confront me
Okay.
and have a deeper conversation.
Okay.
I know that you do that eventually, because you're the adult.
Okay, go ahead. So you're waiting for me.
I was waiting for it to happen, but avoiding it at the same time as best as I could.
I don't think okay. So let's fast forward. So we went to church.
Yeah, we go to church.
And I realized you were still not talking to me, and I as a teacher, I know that if I let it go on too long, it becomes a bad habit. Yeah. So I said to Tommy, all right, let's talk to Edward. Like he's still not talking to me. I feel like we need to resolve this. Otherwise, it could get worse. So we sat you down after Sunday school, you, Edward, Tommy, and I said, just tell me what's going on. And I know that you just basically yelled at me for like 45 minutes as I try to, at moments, defend myself, but tell me what you remember from that day. So this is like the time I try to have a talk with you after a couple months. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember this, Tommy?
Vaguely.
You were there to be a referee.
I was not a good referee though.
Okay.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Something that upset me too was like, why is Tommy here? Not because I don't like Tommy, but it's like, why, Garrett?
It's 2-on-1, dummy.
No. Why are you turning my friend against me? So you making it worse.
Wait a second.
You want war.
Wait a second. I hear what you're saying. Anakin Skywalker. I'm Obi-Wan, and she's Padme.
Right.
Right? You're the bad guy, but you think I'm the bad guy, and I'm turning people against you, right?
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
And it could be worse. It's like if you had more people there, like to sit down and talk to me, I'd be upset. I'd be so upset. All these people are against me.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Edward. So that was your thing. Okay, so time is there. What do you remember from that conversation? This is August 2021. All right.
Well, the point of it was like how it started is, well, Edward, are you done? What are your thoughts?
Okay, are you done?
Are you okay?
Yeah. Trying to be nice. Yes.
And I'm telling you, no.
No, I got a lot more.
No, man. I've come to my conclusions.
Go ahead. Tell me what your conclusions are.
I don't need you.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. I don't need you.
I don't need you.
There was no.
But I need church. That's the only reason I came back.
All right, cool.
I need God. That's why I'm here, Garrett. I don't need you. So I don't need this conversation.
There's no curse.
Why are we having it? Yeah, I cursed a lot. I'm not gonna.
I don't need
that,
you, B. Mother F.
I think that was.
That's my D. All right, cool. So I'm assuming there was a lot of animosity.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
All right, good.
And I'm still angry from before, from everything. I was angry for a long time. I'm still letting it out.
Cool. And then after you let it out, did you forgive me? What happened next? I'm not exactly sure what happened through your mind.
It was like an interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen those videos on YouTube with like interrogations? Those cops eventually get the person to calm down, confess, break.
Yeah. So did I break you?
I think I did.
I didn't even. Okay.
Because maybe the conversation went on for too long. I wanted to leave the room. I felt ashamed that Tommy was there.
We're supposed to get you a cup of coffee. It's gonna be a long night.
Yeah, I felt ashamed.
Kidding.
And I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
What did I say? But
I don't remember what you said.
How did that conversation end?
It did.
Did I say you're right? I don't think I said you were right.
What happened was you just finished yelling at me and you just felt good about yourself. You're like, I wouldn't. And then you came back. And I was like, oh, great. Whatever it takes, man.
Okay. But I did calm down after that. And a lot of it was me reflecting on the people that I'm pushing away and what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a step back, looking at how immature and emotional I'm being, right?
Mm.
But a thing that really resonated with me is like, why Garrett must really care about me for him to put up with that.
When was?
Because I felt like I gave you all of it, but you're still.
What is this, like the same time or after reflecting longer? When did you?
That fall, I was reflecting, and
That's like, you know what I thought.
and I came back and I said I'm sorry.
That's all right, man.
And then I think I wrote you an email trying to explain like why I was upset.
Okay.
The email didn't do it and didn't explain it enough, but.
So Tommy, were you happy that we came back to our group?
Yeah, of course.
Your testosterone came back up?
What?
Okay.
I found out something new.
Go ahead.
You guys must really care about me. I didn't find that out, but Garrett must really care about me on a new level that I don't know is possible.
Well,
Because I'm an asshole. I gave you the worst I could, and you still want to be my friend.
what it was? Don't worry, man. I can take it to the body.
So it's an eye opener to God's love, what this church has. What I probably felt like I didn't deserve. That was special.
It's all right, man. It was only a couple months.
Yeah.
I can take a couple months.
But, that stuck with me, and I viewed you differently.
Uh-huh.
It's like, you really care about me. But I want to know you deeper. I want to know why. So I wanted to spend more time, talk to you more, calls, texts. And I had this wish that I wanted to be more vulnerable with you.
All right.
Because I didn't know how else I would grow. That's the first step, I think.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of the road to redemption. So,
Sure.
I was nice. Tell you the truth, it wasn't too bad. I mean, I got some emotional endurance, fortitude, and I can handle about 6 months before I start getting fatigued. So 3 months is okay of you being mean to me, or you being silly.
Silly, yeah.
How about silly is a better word?
Sure.
Being a little silly. You went back to school.
I was already in school, but
Sorry.
still going at it.
You're
even
going-
though I
you're
was
trying
going
to
through some
turn
hard times. Yeah.
You try to turn a new leaf,
Yeah.
and tell me about why you wanted to be an art teacher. I thought that was kind of interesting to me. If you want to share, you don't have to. If you want to go into more detail, less.
So I let out a lot of my anger, or I expressed it.
Mhm.
Stuff that's probably been with me for years.
Okay.
Maybe childhood, like anger.
So you never left. You didn't express it to anyone. It was mostly me, or did you not express it?
I don't. My whole personality is I don't want to give it to anyone. But if you make it,
So it was just me.
if you crack it, then you're gonna
You didn't
have
get-
to face the consequences.
You didn't give it to Chen Ying. It was just me.
No. I tried really hard to not give it to her,
So it was mostly me.
but we're dating. We're close, so
Okay.
I can't. It's impossible.
Fully
It's
shield her.
impossible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's impossible.
So you guys broke up, and basically, you have less distractions. Now it's basically just you, school, and finances, and God. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So talk about at this time why you wanted to be an art teacher, because I found that to be
Yeah, I know what you're talking
interesting.
about.
Yeah.
In my time where I was practicing being more vulnerable, I was also doing a lot of reflecting, and also very, coming back from being sad and angry that whole middle of the year. I was clear-headed for the first time in a while, and I just did a lot of soul searching, and you're asking why I wanted to be an art teacher. Well, was I helping you write your book? No? Before that?
I don't know.
No, I wasn't. That was
This
after.
is fall. I
That's
don't know
way after.
exactly.
Okay.
Fall. By the time I wrote the book, you've already told me you wanted to be an art too, so this
Yeah.
must have been the fall. Go ahead.
Well, something you teach me, something a point you make a lot is how important a relationship with your parents, your father is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about that a lot. I thought about that a lot at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was thinking a lot about him. Just 'cause,
Your biological dad.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know much about him. I knew he was in the education field. He taught kids, and he was a principal at some point,
Mm-hmm.
right? I prayed for the longest time, which is the reason I didn't do well in school. I was always searching for God's purpose for me in school, my career field. And I never knew what I wanted to do. I was always wrestling with that.
So you did study psychology for a little bit.
Yeah.
But you said maybe not, so you still weren't sure. Uh-huh.
I wasn't sure of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like one day, one moment, I was just thinking about my father. And it felt like my prayer was answered. Like I found something. I'm like, I know what I want to be.
So you wanted to be...
I want to be a teacher like him.
Mm-hmm.
And what subject? I want to teach art because I like art. I've always liked art. And that was actually what I wanted to do as a kid. Kind of just make artwork for a living and sell it. But, that doesn't make money. So art teaching just sounded like perfect. I got it. And I was thinking about the church, you guys, you and me, our teachers, very important in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about how grateful I was for both of you and why you're in my life in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another factor.
Sure.
I felt like I have these two people in my life for another reason that I'm just now discovering. For help if I need it. For inspiration. I look up to them.
Tommy, anything you want to share? Thoughts?
Well, his career path.
Just whatever at this time. He's coming back. He's trying to rebuild. Maybe a sleeper build. Kind of kidding. You good? So, hey, go ahead. I just want to make sure everyone
I'm talking about my father. That's a topic that I avoided for my whole life. And at that point on, after all that trauma, I made the decision that I'm going to stop avoiding a lot of things.
Okay.
So, that's something that sort of led up to me having deep thoughts like that.
All right. So now you're coming back to church.
Mm-hmm.
This last year has probably been an up and down. Now we're 2023. 2022, you finish your credits from Montgomery College. And you transfer to Towson, starting in the fall of 2023.
Yeah.
Talk about, some of the things you've changed since that low point in your life, that summer 2021. You kind of trying to get back on track, academically, trying to be more vulnerable, being single now. What are some of the things that you grew in or you started doing differently? Yeah. Go ahead, Edward. Yeah, sorry.
I tried really hard to keep myself busy.
Okay.
Yeah, if I wasn't working or studying and I had nothing to do, then I made damn sure that I would get out the house and go do something.
What about the gym?
I really pushed myself. Huh?
What about when you talk about the Spartan race when you came in? You were pretty excited.
Oh yeah.
Those are like little things, victories.
I trained for that, and I did well the first Spartan race. And most of my whole life, I felt like when I work hard towards something, I don't always get the outcome that I want, or that I'm always not in control of life, and that really stresses me out, of course. So yeah, that moment.
That was a little victory.
That was a cool moment. Yeah. I was proud of myself.
So we did. I know since that
It's like getting into Towson. I didn't expect. I'm like, wow.
All right. So you worked at a gym. You try to get back on track. Now I also impressed upon you. Obviously school. What do you think about what you learned from Wednesday group and maybe going with me to do visitation? These are some things I think are pretty important, and you did that. So what are your thoughts? When I say visitation, I mean like visiting the elderly, those who are sick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Edward.
Well, I made sure to stay busy. So I remember Wednesday nights after school. If I wasn't going to church, I'd just be doing nothing at home watching TV. So, I was yearning for just something new to make my life interesting again, like in 2017, where I just wanted something different.
Now you also felt at this time you're like, I need to grow more.
I need to grow more. Right. I'm harder on myself than ever. Because I'm trying to redeem myself because I feel guilty.
Yes. So go ahead. Wednesday group, visitation, other things that you felt really benefited you, or
I'm gonna be more involved in the church. I'm gonna be more social because I'm an introvert. I don't really want to talk to people. I'm fine not hanging out with people that I really care about. I'm okay by myself. That doesn't mean I don't like you, but. So I had to push myself to talk to more people, and of course to spend more time with Garrett and learn as much as I can from him as possible. And he would take me on visitations. He would take me to go visit elderly folk, Glenna, Wabong, for example. And what did I learn from that? How important it is to be compassionate. That life at the end of your life is still really, really tough. And, I can't create false expectations for myself. I need to live in reality.
No avoidance.
No avoidance. Rush to people who are in pain. Surround yourself with death is what you say. These are how you stay yourself grounded. This is how you keep yourself grounded.
Okay. Well, we had a good year. Maybe something I was proud of. Y'all are the best group. I said that, and of kids, Tommy, Edward, that generation, Chunying, Zessin, and not really part of that group, but just throw in Evelyn. And you all got baptized together. You, Edward, Tommy, Zessin, and Evelyn. Now, Edward, you are kind of baptized, so you got confirmed.
I was baptized already, but I would have gotten baptized if I could, again.
Maybe I throw in Tommy, but how did you feel? Like, was that a victory for you? Like, I felt very proud to be part of that and honored to be able to be part of that process. What were your... let me ask Tommy, and then I'll go back to Edward. But yeah, Tommy, I know that was this last year has been good.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts? And make sure you compare that to you hanging out with David.
Stop talking about David, man.
Yeah, sorry.
Let it go, man.
David Lee.
I guess you wanted me to talk about how
Yeah.
being baptized.
Yeah, was that a landmark for you, or did you
it's definitely a landmark for me. To be able to just be baptized with one of my closest friend, I think it's such a blessing. And it's really special that I get to do ministry with Elwood.
Which ministry? Ghetto one?
Yeah.
Or the nerdy ministry?
Both. You said ghetto ministry?
Sorry, Derek Johnson. Street ministry. I apologize. Sorry. Street ministry. Okay. Sorry. DC ministry. I apologize.
And one good thing is that we're growing as a team, and that we're here to, help grow the church.
Do you feel more confident about your
Oh
faith?
yeah, oh yeah. I'm
Like-
definitely
like-
more confident. Yeah.
I mean, and your looks.
Yeah, and my looks. I got a perm.
And your financial. I'm kidding. Yeah. So how did that feel?
I feel like I'm able to make an influence.
Mhm.
That that you know, that I can be confident with myself.
All right. How about you, Edward?
It was also a victory for me.
Mhm.
I was really happy to have those three by my side. Well, this is how I felt. Since that breakup, since I got mad, since that time period, I felt like I was expressing a desperation to grow, and be really close. But I didn't feel like anyone else had that same
Desperate mindset.
desperate mindset, or it was just like I don't know, like
But that's not true. You know that.
that's not true.
But you feel that
It's
way.
not true. I felt that way. I guess you could just say I just felt alone. I felt alone that I wanted to do a lot of things and change my life.
So both you guys, what made you comfortable with saying I'm willing to get baptized for Edward, be confirmed? Was it just like, okay, or was there a moment where you said, I'm good with it. This is the right thing for me. Go ahead. Yeah. Tommy or...
Well, I think you mentioned this before. Like, if you're willing to take communion, then you must be able to go on stage and confess that you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really pushed me to go get baptized.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I really truly believe in Jesus, right, then
Mhm.
I shouldn't be ashamed to go up on the stage and share my testimony
Mm-hmm.
and my belief.
And we're not going to talk about nothing else. About your father, how you're scared to tell him, but thank you. Yeah,
What's the question?
what made you feel the confidence? Like,
Well, that I knew that this was the next step. I believed in my heart that in fact I had been changed, and that I was grateful to God that I guess He showed mercy on me. I didn't talk about that. I was really afraid. After that breakup.
okay.
After. I didn't know what was to come, and I was so anxious because I prayed to God like, I don't handle these events well, and I don't have a history of handling stress well. So Father, like I need your strength. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm scared of my own self. And as time went on, I realized I was okay. I was fine, and I was so grateful for it. So
Okay.
I had to thank God that it turned out to be okay, and that I was grateful for everything, the church, you guys, and I had to say it on stage just to show that it's real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've been friends for 6 years with you guys, any thoughts looking back, or maybe do you laugh about how you used to see things and how you see things differently now, or
Do I laugh?
or you go, oh, you silly, oh, you're so silly before.
I was so silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still think I was a bully?
Controlling.
A controlling bully?
Do I still think you're that
I
way?
think you kind of still a bully.
What do you say?
Am I still a bully?
Not as bad as
Tommy.
you were. No, I'm just
Only made you,
soft.
I told you to not get on the treadmill. I said you'll vomit. I was trying to protect you, Tommy. I've never even punched you, have I?
No.
Well, then I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. You're a nice guy.
I'm kidding with you. I'm messing with you. Go ahead, Tommy. No,
what are you talking
I'm not a bully. Have you seen what I would like to do to people? Well, if I'm willing to let people hit me,
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Any thoughts in hindsight, looking back?
Looking back, reflection on myself, or
Whatever, last 6 years.
Would your past self picture you like where you are right now?
oh man, no.
It's pretty hard, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, I never. Man, like looking to the future as a person who's pretty young, like I didn't have my life planned out. Like encountering God and being a part of CCC, that was not ever my like.
That's because you're
vision.
Buddhist.
Oh yeah, that too.
Pseudo Buddhist.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm just glad that everything pretty much worked out in the end. I have a job now.
Good job, now.
Yeah.
Let's not lose it, please. I know.
I'm trying my best.
How about you, Edward?
Well, when I look back on my old self, I always think like, how is that me?
Really?
Yeah. That's.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure my past self would say the same thing.
Would your past self be shocked at who you are today?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How is that me?
Uh-huh.
I'm able to just handle a lot more. And I'm trying to be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to a lot of people. These are things that I just don't do naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, I have a really, really good relationship with God. and I value it.
Mm-hmm.
Still trying to help people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I will say I appreciate Edward. Thanks for coming to my fights.
Yeah.
That was fun. That you came to watch all my fights.
Well,
You know I was a fighter, did you? It's crazy that you got to see that.
I've never actually seen you fight for real. And
Train, that was fun.
I try to show you that I'm there for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And
Yeah. I appreciate you helping with my book.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you letting me go on Randy's random rants at like 11 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
It's because I don't sleep.
A side note, like, does that go anywhere, these rants, or is that actually meaningful, or is it just me going, oh man, Gary, you need to go sleep? Any thoughts on that? I know I do that to you quite often. I'm just saying you random thoughts.
I value them.
Is there?
It's like, and sometimes something funny I do is sometimes in Bible study, when we're trying to share something deep, I will look back at our text so I can. So I'm like, get an idea, just I gotta know it. I just and share it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I value them, and I'm happy that I can look back on them if they don't hit at the moment. But yes, I understand. It makes me understand you more, which is something I'm grateful for. I've gotten closer to you ever since. I felt bad. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I don't think to tell you the truth, I would assume this. I don't think I've really changed the way I treat you. I've always been the same.
No.
The only difference is your understanding has gotten deeper. Is that fair?
Yeah, I used to think you treat me harshly.
No,
And now I'm like, it's all. Can you like push me a little harder?
Do I treat anybody harshly? Do I treat anybody harshly?
No, you don't. Not really.
The only person I treat harshly is Rocky and Timmy. Really? Well,
I understand you more.
I appreciate it, man. This is a quote. Let me end with this and tell me what it means to you. I said, I'd rather you hate me and respect me 5 years from now than like me and not respect me. Does that mean anything to y'all? That's because that's how I approach you guys.
It's a new definition of love. Doing what's best and risking a relationship even if it means you getting to see the other person go down the right path and be close to God. That's a new definition of love.
I'll be Tommy. I'd rather you hate me and respect me in the future than to like me and not respect me. Anything? Does that mean anything to you?
When I think of that that quote, I almost said Bible verse, but it wasn't.
No, it's just something, man. It's just that's how I think it.
But
yeah.
You'd rather, and another way to put it is like you'd rather give up your relationship with that individual in order to see them flourish
Mm-hmm.
and be on the right path. It's you'd rather sacrifice yourself.
Mm-hmm. And you're like that not just with us. You've evolved from someone who.
You watched the DVD trailer and you evolved.
That's okay. I will. Hey, let me give Edward and Chunying a little shout out. If you're listening, Chunying, you helped me to go from base form. Appreciate it. So what happened was, side will end with this, was that I was very frustrated. See, when my dad died, I tried to emulate him by loving the kids the way my dad loved me, which is unconditional love. And when I saw that Edward and Chunying were possibly going to do something I didn't want them to do, I felt helpless. And I realized that I can't just be a nice guy anymore. I have to be more intentional with my love. And that could mean my love might be at times fierce, which you may not like, which could be, when I say fierce, that might be combative.
Mm-hmm.
I could coerce you. It might come across manipulative or bullying. But that's what I learned from you guys, that I have to evolve to meet your needs. So thank you guys for pushing me to be better. And if it weren't for that, as well as other lessons, thank you, Evelyn. I love you too. And what's the who did I learn the last one from? Not sure. But if I didn't learn these lessons, I don't think we would have the group that we have today with you guys. That I push you all to be better.
I thought about John Wick for a second.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your John Wick thought?
He was saying.
You want me to kill my dogs?
No.
Okay.
The bad guy was saying, it's like what he did that day laid the foundation for what we are now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the first movie.
So what Edward and Chunying did to me created a foundation for my gray hair. Yeah. Thank you guys for making me a better leader. And without you all, I couldn't have fired Bubbly. That's my gym manager. You can thank Bubbly.
Shout out to Bubbly.
Bubbly, thank you for letting me fire you. All right, guys. Well, hey, long conversation. I hope you enjoyed Edward's story.
Yeah, thank you for letting me be on your podcast. Everybody's talking about it.
And Tommy.
The wait list is long to get on this podcast.
The wait list is long, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
All right, peace out, guys.
Okay. Thank you.